Insanity. How many genders do you think we have? We have only two genders, a male gender and a female gender. But it will surprise you that in this modern world, I'm told that genders has increased. And we are going to read from a medical journal where they claim that there are about 72 genders. Not three, not four, not five, and so on. But now they say they have about 72 or 74. 72 plus what we know, male and female. Making 74. We are coming to read from the medical net, medicine net. And I want you to listen very careful. Medicine net. It says, what are the 72 other genders? That's the 72 others. They are male and female already. What is gender identity? In today's age, one does not need to fit in regards to their choices, including their gender identity. Gender is no more regarded as a binary concept, where one can either be a male or a female. It has emerged as a continuum or spectrum where one can identify themselves as any of the gender identities. The term gender identity means how a person identifies themselves according to their gender. It may be regardless of their anatomy or genetics. Thus, a person may identify themselves as male, female, none, both, or some other category independent of their genitals. The idea is to make everyone feel comfortable in their skin, irrespective of what gender they were assigned at birth. So this is what a medical or some doctors are saying. They are saying that beginning we know we have male and female, but now you can decide to call yourself a male or a female or a binary, non-binary, non. You can decide to call yourself a cat, a chimpanzee, a hippopotamus, a giraffe, and so on. You can decide to call yourself. This is what some medical people are saying. Insanity. 72 other genders. Besides male and female, there are 72 other genders, which include the following. There are about like they're 72, and they've given descriptions to each of them. I may not be able to read everything concerning the 72 genders. As for male and female, you know already. So I'll read about 22. And I want you to understand what the world is going, how the world is going off the will and the plan of God. The first one, agenda. Agenda is a person who does not identify themselves with experience any gender. Agenda people are also called null gender, genderless, gender void, or neutral gender. So those who call themselves agenda or see themselves as agenda, they are people who cannot identify themselves with with any gender, whether it's a monkey, it's a hippopotamus, it's a male or it's a female. They say they cannot identify agenda. Let's look at erogender. You have Abime gender, we have Adamas gender, we have erogender. Erogender is also called Ivasis gender. This gender identifies changes according to one's surrounding, which means that if you go to a place and the place you don't like the surrounding, it's going to tell exactly who you will be. So if you go to the seaside, you see that aerogender. When you go to the seaside, depending upon the waves, or if you are in a Hamatan, it changes your gender. If it's rainy season, your gender changes. You see, because the environment determines who you are or what you should call yourself. Aerogender. Then let's look at the other gender. That is gender number 5. Aesthetic gender, also called gender, is a type of gender identity derived from aesthetics. The aesthetics have got to do with the way you look and so on. So if today the girl is looking beautiful, or the man is looking handsome, then he can decide to call himself beautiful something. So the way the person looks determines the gender the person sees himself or herself to be. Let's look at affective gender. This is based on the person's mood swings or fluctuations. So if you feel sad this morning or this afternoon, if you feel sad, that will determine how you call yourself. Affective gender, that will determine how you call yourself. So if you are somebody whose mood swings so fast, today you can feel like you are a chameleon, and then as a chameleon your color can change. Next time you feel like you are a dog, and you feel like you are Hamatan. You feel like when your mood changes, then you can decide to call yourself a girl. And if in the evening your mood changes, you can decide to call yourself a girl. When you are a man, if you are a woman and you are going through menses, you can decide to call yourself that, oh, you are sick, or something wrong is happening to you, or what is happening to you. Something that comes into your mind, depending upon your mood, you can decide to call yourself either a girl or a boy. So if you are a girl and you call yourself a boy, or you say that you are a man, and then your menstrual time reaches, that period you can say you are a girl. Immediately the menstrual period ends, you can say you told people that you are a boy, so you are a boy. Then we have 7 agenda flaws. You have 8 illicit gender. You have 9 alias gender. You have 10 amara gender. Amara gender is having a gender identity that changes depending upon the person, on the person's one, that is emotional, depending upon the one the person is emotionally attached to. So if a man has a girlfriend, or the girl has a boyfriend, or a man has a wife, or whatever, depending upon the person you are emotionally attached to, that determines your gender. What kind of life is that? So depending upon the emotions you are going through, because of the person you are married to, it can change your agenda. Then we have ambigender. Then we have ambonic. And what is ambonic? Ambonic, the person identifies themselves above man and woman, and yet does not belong to either. These ambonic people tell themselves that, me, I'm a man. I feel I'm a man. I feel I'm a woman. But even though they feel they are men or women, they don't identify with any of them also. They feel like they are men. They feel like they are women. Then we have amica gender. Amica gender. A gender fluid identity where a person changes his gender depending upon the friends they have. So the friends you have can determine your agenda. So if you have friends who are smokers, then your agenda changes to become a smoker. Maybe you're not a smoker, but your friends are smokers or drunkards. Then you can tell that, oh, if you like the dancology me, I am a drunkard, because I have friends who are drunkards. So today I'm a drunkard, even though you might not be drinking. But the friends that you have will determine your agenda. I am not saying the friends determine your agenda, but that is the mindset of those who believe they are who call themselves amica gender, or who has been identified to be part of the amica gender. Depending upon their friends, that will tell exactly who they are. They have ambonic. They will have androgen, anginal, anogender. Like I said, I cannot go into all of them. There are 72. Anogender, anongender, antigender, anzigender, ampagender, abconsugender, and then what? Astragender, astragender. Let's look at astragender. Astragender is having a gender identity that feels to be related to space. So these people, they feel when the sun is shining, or maybe when SpaceX goes into the space, then they feel like they feel that today I feel like I'm the sun. Today I feel like I am the moon. I feel like I belong to the stars. So when you ask them, are you a girl, a boy, say, oh, today I'm space. Today I think I am the moon. I am the sun. I am the sky. What kind of mindset is that? That is what is called the astragender. They believe they are the sky. They believe they are the stars. Then we have orthogender. Then we have autogender. We have axigender. We have bigender. Bigender is very popular. Having two gender identities at the same or different time. So a girl can say, me, I'm a boy. At the same time, he's a girl. At the same time, the girl or the boy or the man or the woman says that, me, I'm a man. Me, I'm a woman. I'm a donkey. I am a chimpanzee. I am a horse. I am a chameleon. I am a frog. I am a crocodile. Then we have biogender. Biogender is having a gender that is closely related to nature. Their gender is closely related to nature. The way the season is and so on, that determines their gender. Then we have Blair gender. Blair gender. We have boy floss. We have best gender. We have Carl gender. Then we have cast gender, cast floss. And then we have catiro gender. And catiro gender is a non-binary gender where the person has a specific masculine, feminine, or neutral feelings. But let's look at Cavos gender. The person feels close to one agenda when depressed, or to another when not depressed. So when the person is depressed, that will determine his agenda. When the person is not depressed, that will the agenda can change. So when you are depressed, maybe in the morning you are depressed, you can decide to call yourself mouse, poor mouse. When your depression goes, you can decide to call yourself nice bed or a bed. So depending upon your depression, that is the gender that the people identify themselves with. Let's look at the other genders. We have caterogender. We have caterofluid. We have sex gender, being closely related to the gender assigned at birth during the entire life. You know, some of these people who are teaching the young girls and boys, who are teaching the students that, oh, how do you feel? How do you identify yourself? Don't you feel, sometimes don't you feel you are a boy talking to a girl? And you boy, don't you feel you are a girl? You see, so cisgender are people who are closely related to the gender assigned at birth during the entire life. So when their parents said that, oh, you at birth, the doctor said you are a girl. So this is how they assign themselves. Even though they know they have private of a boy, they say, "Oh, I was told I'm a girl, so I'm a girl. I'm a girl. Oh no, my father said I'm a boy. That is why I like wearing boys' dresses." These are the people they call sixth gender. And then we have number 41, cloud gender. The person's gender cannot be comprehended or understood due to the depersonalization and derealization disorder. Depending upon the person's personalization or disorder, the person cannot tell, or you cannot comprehend who the person is. You cannot understand who the person is. The person may be a student. The person may be a family member. But because of the person's personal agenda, you cannot tell who the person is. If you have a child and you, the parent, you are asked, your child, is he a boy or a girl? There are some in America and some of these developed countries, UK and so on, where they believe in these 72 agendas. Some of them cannot tell who their children are, whether they are boys or girls. So they will tell you, go and ask my daughter who she is. We have called gender. That's number 42. Various genders are present at the same time in the individual. And then we called gender, and then we have color gender. Who can determine what a color gender is? If you know what a color gender is, just write it down. Who can determine what a color gender is? Color gender. Color. COLOR. And then gender. Who can determine what a color gender is? This is what a color gender is. I want to read what a color gender is to you. Color gender in this category, colors are used to describe gender. For example, pink gender or black gender. So if you are a boy, and then you have a friend, and the friend is so free, or the friend is a black boy, or the friend is a white boy, depending upon the color of the friend, that determines the gender of the friend. If your friend is a Chinese, that determines his gender. He is not a female or a male. He calls himself a Chinese gender. Chinese is not a gender because Chinese is not biological. So if the person is a black man, he says that is a gender. That is a gender, unfortunately. Let's look at other genders. Number 46, delicia gender, and this is associated with the feeling of having multiple genders by preferring one over the other. These people who are delicia genders, they believe they are in many, they have multiple genders. They see themselves as males, they see themselves as females, they see themselves as boys, girls, they see themselves as hippopotamus, they see themselves as giraffes, they see themselves as the moon. But sometimes, depending upon the mood, they can prefer one over the other. Delicia genders. Then we have demifluid. We have demifluid. We have demigender. We have dom gender. We have dura gender. Dura gender is having more than one gender with one lasting longer than the other. So there are some people who believe they have many genders. And they believe that even though they have many genders, the one that lasts longer is the gender they belong to. It has got to durability, so it's called dura gender. If they call themselves boys, or they call them, and at the same time call themselves girls, as they grow on through life, that determines whether they are boys or girls, and that determines whether they are chimpanzees or hippopotamus. And when I say hippopotamus and so on, I keep on mentioning these names. Everyone say, but why do I keep on mentioning hippopotamus and so on? Yesterday video that I did, I was able to show that there are some people in Berlin who said that they are dogs, and they had a rally in the middle of Berlin where they were shouting, "Whoa, whoa, go, whoa!" They claim they are dogs. Some people also claim they are cats. Some people claim they are elephants. Do you understand? So depending upon the mindset of the person can be of a certain mood. So people who have the dual gender, theirs is depending upon the gender that will last long. That will last long. Then we have ego gender. We have ego gender. Ego gender is a personal type of gender identified by the individual alone. It is based on the person's experience within the self. So this person is the only person who knows his agenda. Do you understand? He's the person who knows his agenda. And this is based on the person's experience within himself. So depending upon the person's mood and so on, and what how the person sees himself, this person tells exactly who she is, or who he is, or what animal she or he is. Then we have epicene. We have epicene. We have SP gender. SP gender, the individual relates their gender identity with spirits. These people, they relate their agenda with spirits, demons. So sometimes depending on the dream they had, and depending upon the possession and how the demon possesses them, they can identify themselves as Lucifer. That's why Anton LaVey created the Church of Satan in America. So depending upon the spirit that possesses them, they can see themselves depending, and they can name themselves after a demon. Me am pra, bosom pra, me a pra, me susubribri, me I am this, I am that, me jimukwe, I am River Nile. River Nile. You see, depending upon who they are, and depending upon what they are going through in space, they identify with spirits, they identify with demons. I remember one day we were doing some deliverance for somebody, and the person said it's called the spirit in the person is called Gary. Gary is a food we eat in Ghana. It's called Gary. And somebody said it's called Pra. Somebody said it's called Mukwe. Somebody said it's called Totole. Demonic names. So depending upon the spirit, that determines the person's gender. Depending upon the person's spirit, that determines the person's gender. This is what is happening in the world. Let's look at other genders. We have X gender. We have exist gender. We have flum fluid 58. Femme gender. Fluid flux. Gemi gender. Gender blank. Gender flow. Gender fluid. Gender flux. Gender force. Gender flux. Gender pack. Gender queer. Gender witch. Girl flux. Heel gender. Mirror gender. And what is mirror gender? Changes one gender type based on the person's surrounding. So people change their gender based upon their surrounding or what they are seeing. Mirror gender. Depending upon what your eye is seeing, that's the gender they identify themselves with. So when let's say that they go to a disco, they see themselves as disco lights. Do you understand? When they go to a disco, they see themselves as disco lights. When they are swimming in the sea and you ask them, what are you? They say they are tadpoles. I am a crocodile today. When they go to the forest, they're surrounding. When they go to the forest, oh, what is your gender? I am a cocoa tree. I am a cocoa tree. When they go to a place and the place is fine, everything is cool, they identify with that surrounding. That is the agenda. That's an agenda. This is what the world is going through, and this is what is happening to the world. Do you understand? This is what is happening to the world. Let's look at the last one, omnigender. And omnigender is having or experiencing all genders. So there are some people who claim that every gender they can experience. They are frogs. Sometimes they've experienced being a frog before. They've experienced being a cockroach before. They've experienced being a chameleon before. They've experienced being a chimpanzee before. They have experienced being a white woman before. They have experienced being a zombie before. They have experienced being a black boy. They have experienced being a soldier man. They have experienced being a naval officer. So they can identify with all. They believe that every gender has happened to them before. So said people, they are called omni-gender. Every gender belongs to them. You see when they say omnipotent, me God all powerful. Me every power belongs to God. Omniscience, God is everywhere. So omni-gender, they are saying that just like omni means everything or all, they are saying that they are omni-gender. That is every gender that can occur into your mind belongs to them. Like I said, when I was young, there was only two females, and still we have only two female genders. But when the lesbians and so on came, they identified themselves not as male or female. They identified themselves as gays and lesbians. So it became four. Now we have extra 72, making 74. That's what is happening. I will not be surprised by next year we'll have 100, and by 5 years time we may have 1,000. That is the world. That is what is happening in the world. And scientists are saying it is true. Like when a court, an American judge was asked to give the definition of a woman, she says she does not know. And when a honorable man in America was asked, it's not in America, I'm not against America. I'm not against America. It's happening in other countries. When a honorable man in America was asked that can men give birth, he said yes, men can give birth. Another woman said men can give birth. Men can give birth. That woman said men can give birth. The man said he doesn't know. But maybe the woman who is asking the question knows more than he knows. You are a man. Can you give birth? He says he does not know. The reason they are saying all this is because some men says they are women, and some women says they are men. But their chromosome is still a female chromosome. And the parts that God gave to them that makes them female is still there. They have the female privates. You see, they menstruate every month. You see, but they call themselves men. That is why when they were asked, can men give birth? The woman said, yes, men can give birth. Because he was referring to women who call themselves men. But the fact of that matter is men cannot give birth. It's only women who can give birth. That is the biological women can give birth. Biological men cannot give birth. And God made man and woman. God made female and male. God didn't make male, female, and then said, you say you are a chimpanzee, so that is your agenda. Genders are only two. A chimpanzee, a frog, they are not genders. When you have a frog, you have female frogs and male frogs. Chimpanzee, you have female chimpanzee and male chimpanzees. Do you understand? There are some of the things that God created. We don't have female, we don't have male. But human beings, I want you to know, we have male and we have female. I want you to know that God wants to bless you. Let's read what is happening to the people of the world. Why we now have 74 genders, 72 genders, artificial genders, and 2 rare genders that God made. Let us read the Bible and see what is happening to the various genders. So the reason why people claim they have various genders. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 3 to 4. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world has blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, which is the image of God, should hid upon them. So the devil has blinded the minds of people who are perishing. The devil has taken the minds of unbelievers as slaves. He has captured their mind. That is why the truth about everything is a girl knows it's a girl. But this girl is saying he's now a boy. When you have your private part, you have breasts. Do you understand? You menstruate every week, every month. Boys don't menstruate, but they say they are girls. The devil has blinded their minds. And people don't love God. The Bible says that in the last days, people will have itchy ears. People want something that will excite them. People will not love God, they will love themselves more than lovers of God. And this is what is happening. And brothers and sisters, I want you to know that God made only two genders, a male and a female. You don't have three, you don't have four, you don't have 10, you don't have 50, you don't have 72. We have only two. May God bless you. I'm Dr. Botwe-Chrysolite. I want you to share this video to friends, and God will bless you. I want you to like this video. I want you to comment. If you have a question, just comment. And I want you to subscribe to this channel. I have other channel. I'm also a forex trader. It is called Hallelujah Forex. You can go if you want to learn little about forex. I've started with the basics and in the primary section, and that is what you need for forex. Yes, go and learn. Go to my YouTube channel. It's called Hallelujah Forex, and I have a channel. It's called Answering Bible Questions, answering the questions, and I'm starting with answering the supposedly contradictions in the Bible. You know, the Muslims say the Bible is full of contradictions. There is not a single contradiction. And if you're a Christian, you don't understand some of the parts of the Bible, I'm going to answer all the contradictions in the Bible. I've answered more than 200 already. And that's where I used for my thesis and had my doctorate degree. May God bless you. I want you to subscribe to all these channels. I have more than 6 channels, but I've just mentioned this channel to you. Chrysolite TV, Hallelujah Forex, and answering your Bible questions. May God bless you. May God touch you. Don't fail to subscribe to this channel. Have a nice time. Bye-bye.